You think discipline is freedom. You're wrong. It's a payment plan, a ruthless ledger. Every ounce of true self-mastery demands a steep, often unspoken price from your very soul. Are you ready to hear it? You forfeit the soft embrace of extra sleep. The alarm's battle cry rips you from dreams to cold reality. Your body aches, demanding 5 more minutes. But discipline demands more. This is your very first payment. You say goodbye to instant gratification. That delicious treat, the endless scrolling, the mindless binge-watching, they become forbidden fruits. You watch others indulge, feeling a pang of desire, a quiet sacrifice for a distant reward. You choose the harder path, always. When comfort beckons, you walk away. When the easy shortcut appears, you actively resist. Every single time. This constant rejection of ease carves lines of weariness deep into your spirit. You face loneliness. Your friends are out having fun, making memories, living spontaneously. You are home, working, building. The invitations dwindle. The unspoken question in their eyes: why are you always so serious? You endure the misunderstanding of others. They see your choices as rigidity, not strength. They label you as obsessed, antisocial, or even boring. Explanations fall flat. You learn to live with being perpetually misunderstood. Your social life shrinks. Spontaneity dies. Every outing, every gathering must be weighed against your goals. The joy of simply being with others often takes a back seat. You become a planner, not a participant. You develop an inner critic sharper than any external voice. Every slip, every moment of weakness is magnified. This voice is relentless, pushing you further, but also whispering doubts. It's a double-edged sword. You face the relentless pull of your old habits. They are like ghosts, always lurking, offering comfort, tempting you back to ease. Each victory against them is exhausting, a silent internal war fought daily. You learn to live with constant mental fatigue. Decision fatigue is real when every choice, from food to free time, is optimized for your goals. Your mind is always on, rarely truly resting. You sacrifice spontaneity. There's no room for whims, for sudden changes of plans, for simply seeing where the day takes you. Your days are structured, your hours accounted for. Freedom feels less free, more earned. You give up the comfort of good enough. You can never settle. Every achievement becomes a new baseline. Every victory, a stepping stone to a higher challenge. The bar is always rising, relentlessly. You face the quiet jealousy of others. When you succeed, some won't cheer. They'll find reasons to diminish your effort, attributing it to luck or innate talent. They don't see the unseen battles you fought. You accept that some relationships will wither. Not everyone can keep pace with your evolving self. They might resent your growth, or simply drift away as your priorities diverge. It's a natural, painful pruning. You give up the luxury of casual friendships. Deep connections require time and emotional investment, which you now guard fiercely. Acquaintances might remain, but the inner circle tightens considerably. You confront your own laziness head-on. It's not a temporary feeling. It's a deep-seated resistance to effort. You must constantly battle this internal drag, this urge to simply stop, every single day. You accept the inevitability of failure. Despite your discipline, things will go wrong. Projects will falter, goals will be missed. Discipline doesn't guarantee success, only the resilience to keep trying. You sacrifice moments of pure, unadulterated joy for the sake of long-term satisfaction. Sometimes you'll miss out on a fleeting, intense happiness because it doesn't align with your disciplined path. This is a quiet, sharp ache. You become acutely aware of your own weaknesses. Discipline forces you to confront every excuse, every avoidance tactic, every area where you are soft. There's no hiding from yourself anymore. You endure physical discomfort. Early mornings in the cold, late nights pushing through fatigue, the burning sensation of exertion. Your body becomes a tool, often pushed beyond what feels comfortable, demanding resilience. You sacrifice financial ease, sometimes. Investments in your growth, your tools, your education might mean foregoing immediate pleasures or luxuries. You choose future wealth over present comfort, a calculated risk. You experience guilt. Guilt for saying no to loved ones, for missing family events, for prioritizing your ambitious pursuits over immediate connection. It's a heavy, silent burden you often carry alone. You develop tunnel vision. So focused on your path, you might miss peripheral beauty, small joys, or alternative routes. The world becomes a means to an end, rather than an end in itself. This can be dehumanizing. You sacrifice mental spontaneity, the freedom to simply wander with your thoughts, to brainstorm without purpose, to daydream without guilt. Every mental effort is channeled, directed, productive. You endure periods of deep self-doubt. When progress is slow or setbacks occur, that inner critic screams louder. You question everything, your path, your worth, your ability to ever reach your goals. You sacrifice emotional comfort. You push through frustration, boredom, fear. You don't allow yourself to wallow. Emotions become indicators, not dictators. This can feel cold, even to yourself. You confront your true self, stripped bare. All the masks you wore, all the excuses you made, are slowly peeled away by the unforgiving mirror of discipline. You see who you truly are, unvarnished. You carry the weight of expectation. Your own, mostly. Having achieved certain milestones, you know what you are capable of. This creates an internal pressure to constantly perform, to never regress. You risk becoming rigid. So ingrained are your habits, so fixed your routines, that adaptation becomes difficult. The world changes, but your disciplined mind struggles to pivot, to embrace the unknown. You lose the ability to coast. There's no autopilot when you're disciplined. Every day requires conscious effort, deliberate choice, and active engagement with your goals. The mind is always at work. You face existential dread sometimes. The sheer magnitude of what you're trying to achieve, the vastness of the effort, can be overwhelming. Is it worth it? Will it matter? These questions haunt quiet moments. You sacrifice present peace for future potential. The calm of a carefree life is replaced by the tension of striving, the constant push towards an unreached ideal. Tranquility becomes a distant horizon. You endure the physical pain of pushing limits, muscles burning, joints aching, the deep fatigue that settles into your bones. It's not always invigorating. Sometimes, it's just pure, raw discomfort you must embrace. You become hypercritical of yourself. Even small errors feel like massive failures. The relentless pursuit of excellence leaves little room for self-compassion. Perfection becomes the silent, unforgiving master. You accept that not everyone will understand your journey. Some will mock, some will dismiss, some will simply fail to grasp the depth of your commitment. You walk a path you dare to tread. You give up the casual flow of time. Every hour is an opportunity, every minute a resource. Time is no longer something to be spent, but something to be invested, guarded, optimized. It's a constant calculation. You learn to say no, constantly, to invitations, to distractions, to your own urges. No becomes your most powerful and often loneliest word. Each no is a tiny death to a potential pleasure. You face the terror of the unknown. Stepping outside comfort zones means confronting fears, anxieties, and uncertainties. Discipline doesn't remove fear. It equips you to walk through it, trembling but steady. You endure the sheer boredom of repetition. Mastery requires countless hours of doing the same thing, again and again. It's not always exciting. Often, it's just mind-numbing, relentless practice. You sacrifice personal narrative. The story of your life becomes less about wild adventures and more about focused effort, incremental progress, and quiet resilience. Less dramatic, perhaps, but deeply profound. You face the constant threat of complacency. The moment you relax, the moment you think you've made it, is precisely when discipline begins to erode. It demands eternal vigilance, never letting your guard down. You sacrifice external validation. You learn to be your own judge, your own motivator. The applause of others matters less than your internal compass, your own standards. This is a lonely but powerful form of self-reliance. You endure the pressure of, what if? What if it doesn't work? What if all this sacrifice is for nothing? These thoughts are the whispers of doubt, trying to derail your efforts. You must silence them, daily. You accept that your progress will be invisible to most. The real work happens in the quiet hours, the consistent effort no one sees. The transformation is internal, profound, but rarely celebrated publicly. You give up the comfort of mediocrity. It's a warm, inviting blanket, keeping you safe from judgment and the demands of excellence. Discipline rips it away, leaving you exposed to scrutiny, forcing growth. You face the endlessness of the journey. There's no arrival, no final destination where discipline is no longer required. It's a lifelong commitment, a continuous process of becoming. The work never truly ends. You endure the subtle ache of missed experiences. Birthdays, casual coffees, spontaneous road trips. These moments, once taken for granted, now become precious, often unobtainable luxuries. Life passes by differently. You give up the freedom of impulsive spending. Every dollar becomes a tool for your greater purpose. Budgeting, saving, investing. These are not chores, but acts of discipline demanding constant vigilance. You face the frustration of slow progress. Despite all effort, results are often delayed, incremental, barely noticeable. Impatience is a constant adversary. You learn to trust the process, even when it feels futile. You sacrifice the ease of distraction. The phone, the internet, the endless stream of entertainment. They become obstacles, not escapes. You actively build barriers to protect your focus, creating a quieter, emptier world. You accept that some sacrifices are permanent. Once a choice is made, a path taken, certain doors close forever. There's no going back to the person you were, the life you might have lived. This is an irreversible commitment. You endure the internal argument. The part of you that craves ease constantly debates with the part that seeks growth. It's a continuous negotiation, a mental tug-of-war that drains energy. Inner peace feels elusive. You sacrifice the joy of simply being. Every moment is often viewed through the lens of productivity, optimization, or progress. The present becomes a stepping stone, rather than a destination to inhabit fully. You carry the burden of self-reliance. You are accountable only to yourself. There's no one to blame but you, no external force to credit. This intense personal responsibility can be both empowering and incredibly heavy. You face the reality that discipline is a choice, not a personality trait. Every single day, you actively choose it. It's not innate, it's forged, moment by moment, through conscious, often painful, effort. You sacrifice the feeling of being normal. Your choices often set you apart, making you feel like an outlier. The path of least resistance is popular. Your path is often solitary, misunderstood, and lonely. You endure the mental strain of constant vigilance, always anticipating pitfalls, always course-correcting, always planning ahead. Your mind is a tireless sentinel, rarely truly disarming itself. You sacrifice the illusion of ultimate control. Discipline gives you power over yourself, but not over outcomes. The universe retains its whims. You learn to exert effort and release attachment to results. You contend with the ego's resistance. The ego yearns for comfort, praise, and immediate rewards. Discipline strips these away, forcing it to mature, define satisfaction in internal strength, not external validation. You accept that your why must be stronger than any temptation. If your purpose falters, discipline crumbles. It's a continuous reinforcement of your core values, a daily recommitment to what truly matters. You endure the paradox of striving. The harder you work, the more you realize how much more there is to do, how far you still have to go. The finish line constantly recedes, demanding more. You face the quiet despair of burnout, the deep, heavy fatigue that comes from pushing too hard for too long. Discipline demands listening to your body too, preventing destruction, knowing when to rest. You sacrifice the innocence of not knowing. Once you see the potential within yourself, the path to greatness, you can never unsee it. Ignorance was bliss. Now, knowledge carries the weight of responsibility. You endure the painful truth that discipline is often a lonely endeavor. True growth happens in quiet solitude, unseen by cheering crowds. The applause comes later, if at all. Your reward is internal. You accept that true discipline is less about brute force and more about relentless, quiet consistency. It's the small, daily acts no one notices that build the colossal results. The mundane becomes sacred. You sacrifice the comfort of external validation. You become your own toughest critic, your own most ardent supporter. The need for others, approval wanes, replaced by an inner integrity. This is pure self-trust. You contend with the constant feeling of never being done. The pursuit of mastery is infinite. There's always more to learn, to improve, to achieve. The destination is always just beyond the horizon. You endure the weight of responsibility for your own potential. Once you know what you are capable of, not pursuing it feels like a betrayal. The burden of your own greatness is a heavy crown. You sacrifice external entertainment as a primary source of fulfillment. It becomes a tool for relaxation, not escape. Your joy shifts inward, derived from progress, competence, and the quiet satisfaction of self-mastery. You realize that discipline is not a destination, but the path itself. Every step, every choice, every no is the payment. The cost is not paid once, it's paid perpetually, for the rest of your life. You learn to forgive yourself quickly. Slips will happen. Days will be lost. Discipline isn't about perfection, but about the relentless, humble return to the path after every stumble. Self-compassion is vital. You confront the fear of success. What if you actually achieve your audacious goals? What new responsibilities will arise? This hidden fear can subtly sabotage efforts. Discipline helps you transcend it. You give up the need for constant novelty. True satisfaction comes from depth, not breadth. Mastering one thing, one skill, brings a profound joy that fleeting new experiences cannot replicate. It's a deeper kind of rich. You face the temptation to quit, daily. The allure of ease, the fatigue of effort, the whispers of doubt, they all conspire to make you surrender. Each day is a renewed commitment, a re-upped contract. You contend with the reality that some people will be left behind. Not everyone is willing or able to make the same sacrifices. Your ascension might mean you simply outgrow some relationships, however painful. You sacrifice the comfortable delusion that you are not capable. Discipline systematically dismantles this belief, proving your strength, your resilience, your capacity. This can be exhilarating, but also terrifying. You endure the weight of your own potential, the knowledge that you can achieve more, be more. This inner voice of potential never truly quiets. It's a loving, relentless taskmaster, pushing you ever onward. You face the reality that life will always throw challenges. Discipline isn't a shield against adversity, but rather the sword and armor you use to navigate it. The battles are endless, the training constant. You sacrifice the ease of following the crowd. When everyone zigs, you zag. When they choose comfort, you choose rigor. This independent spirit, born of discipline, often leads to solitary triumphs. You accept that building real discipline is a continuous act of creation. You are sculpturing your character, your future, your very self, with every intentional choice. It's a living, breathing work of art. You endure the quiet despair of comparing yourself. Seeing others achieve, seemingly effortlessly, can sting. Discipline teaches you to focus on your lane, your race, your unique journey, silencing the comparisons. You give up the comforting illusion of a fixed identity. Discipline constantly challenges who you think you are, forcing evolution, growth, and transformation. You are a perpetual work in progress, always becoming. You face the stark truth of impermanence. Everything you build, every habit forged, can be undone. Discipline is a constant effort to maintain, to rebuild, to reestablish. It is a ceaseless act of will. You endure the profound loneliness of being truly accountable. The buck stops with you. There's no escaping the consequences of your choices, good or bad. This absolute ownership is terrifying and liberating. You sacrifice the comfort of easy agreement. You learn to challenge ideas, question norms, and stand firm in your convictions, even when unpopular. Discipline cultivates an unyielding intellectual honesty. You contend with the reality that discipline makes you stronger, but never invincible. You will still face pain, loss, and defeat, but you will face them with grace, resilience, and an unbreakable spirit. You give up the easy narrative of victimhood. There's no external force to blame for your inaction, no grand excuse. Discipline forces you to own your agency, your power, and your choices fully. You realize the cost is always now, not in the future, not yesterday. Every single moment demands a choice, a payment. The price is paid in the present for a future that is never guaranteed. You accept that the truest cost is the version of yourself you could have been if you hadn't paid. The wasted potential, the unlived life. This is the ultimate, silent burden, driving you forward. You endure the quiet, relentless pressure of your own high standards. They are a constant, internal, driving force, ensuring you never settle, never truly rest on your laurels. The pursuit of excellence is infinite. You face the profound realization that discipline is love. Love for your future self, love for your potential, love for the impact you can create. It's a brutal, demanding, yet ultimately selfless act. You sacrifice the comfort of ignorance. Once you know the path, the effort, the cost, you can't pretend otherwise. This knowledge carries a heavy weight, but also immense clarity. It is a burden of truth. You endure the relentless inner war against procrastination, the urge to delay, to postpone, to avoid what's difficult. It's a constant, insidious battle, fought in the quiet corners of your mind, moment by moment. You sacrifice the luxury of a perfect life. Discipline isn't about eliminating problems, but equipping you to handle them. Life remains messy, but you become a master of navigating its chaos. You contend with the reality that discipline is never truly mastered. It's a practice, a daily recommitment, a continuous refining. You don't arrive. You simply become better at the journey itself. You face the ultimate cost. You must become comfortable with being uncomfortable. True discipline means embracing discomfort as a constant companion, a sign of growth, a necessary fuel for your evolution. You endure the profound weight of knowing that freedom isn't free. It's earned through countless small sacrifices, through daily battles against your lower self, through an unwavering commitment to your higher calling. You sacrifice the illusion of security. Discipline demands calculated risks, stepping into the unknown, trusting your capacity to adapt. There is no true safety, only the courage to face uncertainty. You contend with the silent scream of your inner child, longing for ease, for play, for unconditional acceptance without effort. Discipline requires acknowledging that cry, then gently guiding it towards growth. You face the profound truth. The cost of real discipline isn't just discomfort or sacrifice. It's the constant, relentless confrontation with your deepest self, forging a spirit that cannot be broken. This is the price of true becoming. The ultimate cost isn't what you give up, but who you become through the giving. It's the daily decision to choose your future over your past, your potential over your comfort. The cost is *U, refined by fire.